Hi, my name's Kay. I'm 20 years old and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just gonna get ready. I'm gonna do my makeup, which isn't a lot, but it's just nice to have something to do with my hands while I'm talking, while I update you guys on my life. I haven't posted on this channel in I think 2 weeks, maybe 3. And I've just been busy. Honestly, a lot has happened in the past 2 weeks. So let's hop right into what's going on. While I get stuff done, while I get my makeup done. So for starters, I had a video planned for last week because I skipped the week before. I was just really busy. I honestly don't remember what I had to do that Wednesday, which is the day that I film, but I ended up getting busy. I was doing something, and I didn't film that day. So rather than trying to rush filming Thursday, I just said, "Oh, I'm not going to film this week, and then next week I'll film something like kind of special." And my intention was to film this video, the life update video. Now, I'm just going to say this, I'm going to preference this. There are no cuts or edits or anything in this video, so you're going to see me drinking my drink, you're going to see me mess up, you're going to see me say things probably twice because I'm just not going to do any edits. With that being said, yeah, the idea that I had was to do a life update and just kind of like a sit and chat kind of FaceTime feel video. Um, Last week I had it all filmed and then I kind of started watching it back to see if I liked it, if I really wanted to post it, and I just hated it. I really just hated it. And I think it had a lot to do with um just like my attire and my appearance. I don't really enjoy coming on this channel and not being dressed up, not having all my jewelry on, just looking like I just rolled out of bed, which most days when I film, that's exactly what happens. Like, I just roll out of bed, I get ready, I put on makeup, and then I film. And that's really the start of my film days. Sorry if I'm hitting the mic. I think I just did, but I didn't mean to. Yeah. This is L'Oreal Paris Collagen Moisture Filler. I love this stuff. It honestly, I see the like effect of it right after I put it on. It makes me feel like my face looks so much fuller and more glowy, which I love because on days like this where I'm trying to film, I like really don't like feeling like my skin looks dull or flat or whatever, I don't know. And I'm not a huge makeup person, so I don't like use foundation. I don't go in with a primer. I don't do concealer or anything. I just do mascara, blush, and like a gloss. And that's it. But anyways, so I had that video planned, ended up hating it, decided that I was not gonna post it, and never got around to refilming it. Wednesdays are my primary film days just because typically I'm like extremely busy every other day of the week with working my 9 to 5 and just taking care of my home and my relationship. And then, of course, my family. I've got my mom and my little brother to look out for as well. So, whenever she needs something or he's here sometimes, um, all of that is stuff that just affects filming and how much time I have for myself. But also, let's just be real because that's the whole point of this video. A lot of time when I like could film, I'm not even thinking about filming. I'm like scrolling on TikTok or um on Facebook or reading books. Like I'm doing really anything else. I'll like go shopping or I don't know. There's a lot of things that I end up doing in times where I probably could and should be filming. So yeah, that's the honest truth. Now, the reason I wanted to film this video a couple weeks ago was because I got this really strong feeling a couple weeks back about how my life is going, how my business is going, how working my 9 to 5 is going, and I've been preaching in all of these videos recently um it's okay to feel certain ways, and I just wanted to be honest and open with you that I'm still feeling it. I honestly, the other day, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago, I had such a strong feeling of I'm still stuck. I'm not doing anything with my life. I'm not making any sort of impact, and I'm still really just struggling with everything. I'm not making as much money as I want to right now. Um, I want to buy a house and, have my own space, and it's just not going to happen anytime soon with how things are looking for me right now because I am just working a corporate entry level job which is not paying me enough to really take care of myself. Bills are pretty tight, and life just keeps adding on, so things get tighter. It's I have to choose between taking care of myself and actually enjoying my life, and it's hard because I really do want to enjoy my life all the time, and I want to indulge in just the fun activities of life. I want to be able to go shopping. I literally, for the first time, and I don't even know how long, spent I think $60 at Marshall's to get myself new clothes, and the whole time that I was there, mind you, it was just after I got my nails done. So, I spent $75 getting my nails done, which I do once a month, pretty much every month. And then for the first time, and I genuinely do not know how long, I went into Marshall's and picked out, I think, two dresses, maybe two shirts, and two pairs, or a pair of shorts and a skirt. And that's the first time I've actually gone shopping and spent money without thinking if I am going to spend money, I need to spend the least amount of money that I possibly can, and actually just bought clothes that I liked and enjoyed. I still was very cautious. I wasn't going crazy overspending just to overspend, but I did go in there and treat myself a little bit because it has just been such a long time since I got to spend money on clothes that I like and enjoy. And like sometimes just spending money on clothes or spending money on shoes or spending money on things that I want and don't necessarily need, like hair products or skin products, whatever, it makes me feel good knowing that I just got myself something new and I'm taking care of myself just to make myself feel good. It feels good. So I did that, and yeah, it's just hard sometimes having to choose between doing those two things, like taking care of myself and then um taking care of the things that need to get done or just having fun. So sorry. Anyways, but yeah. And then so sorry, I'm just all over the place right now. My brain's a little scattered. Um the thing that's weighing on me really heavily right now, that's throwing off my train of thought so heavily, is that just this past Friday, so that was July. Are we in July? I think we're in July. I'm gonna say July. Whatever month we're in, I believe it's July. Um, 10th, I believe it was. I got into a car accident. I've never been in a car accident before. Um, this was my first car. I've had the car for probably a year now. I got it in like July of last year, and I was driving in my car alone. There was no other passengers. I didn't have either one of the dogs, thank goodness. And I was turning into a gas station from the opposite side of the road. A guy had stopped to let me pass or let me turn, and a lady tried to pass traffic in the shoulder and ended up hitting me because she couldn't see me turning up, like with the line of traffic being there, and I couldn't see her like trying to pass traffic around the car that was letting me turn. And so she ended up hitting my car, and the front like of my car is gone. She completely ripped off the bumper of my car, and like up to the quarter panel on the driver's side of my car. I didn't even look at the passenger side, so I don't know what the damage looks like on that side. But on the driver's side, up to the corner panel of my car is just like crushed in. She crushed and like crunched the engine shield, the splash engine shield, and the radiator, and it was like leaking fluid all over the ground. And yeah, I was in my car right after it happened, obviously, because where else would I be? And I was just like in shock. Like I was like, did I really just get hit? Like what just happened? I never have been in anything like this at all. So I guess I just kind of froze. Guys, I have a pink drink, so ignore me while I take a sip of this because my voice is really raspy and I hate when it does that. But yeah, so I was in like a lot of shock right after it happened, and I don't know, I ended up getting out, and or no, that's not what I wanted to say. I wanted to say that, sorry, see, it happened again. My train of thought just vanished. I was in my car and I like had to force it into park. I could get it into reverse and then it didn't want to go any farther. And so I forced it into park and took my foot off the brake because I was holding my foot on the brake. I like was still so shocked that I was just like I had to think about every single thing that I was doing. So I took my foot off the brake and I ended up my car was rolling backwards into traffic. And so I put my foot on the brake again, pulled the e-brake, and just like sat in my car and was like, what just happened? Um, but yeah, my car is totaled, and that is like just kind of brought up the feelings that I was having a couple weeks ago about being at this dead end job and not being happy with my life and not knowing where I want to go with my career. And I had taken a test online to do some freelance writing for through like a website that helps you get jobs and stuff like that. And the intention was that I would be doing freelance writing in all of my free time to help me make more money, bring in another um like source of income to help me stop just surviving and really just be able to enjoy my life and be comfortable. So I did the assessment for that and hadn't heard back. And like I checked probably a week after I did the assessment. And then I ended up doing a second assessment a couple days after I did the first one for a different site. Didn't hear back from them either. And so with hearing nothing from either one of those sites and like really I was like heavily set on using those as a second source of income and being able to support myself, it like just set me back a little bit. Excuse me. Set me back a little bit, and now I am just kind of having to re situate my life because I'm still working this one 9 to 5 job and the hourly pay is not enough for me to support myself by myself. I cannot, as I've said in multiple videos before, I cannot afford like a single bedroom apartment and feed myself and pay car insurance and um, whatever else, pay my credit card bill, whatever. So I need like another way to make money to afford myself that ability. With everything that just happened, my car being totaled, I'm looking at getting a part-time job. The only problem is that there is like nothing in this area that's hiring for part-time. I would have to go to the next town over, but I don't have a car. And everyone who lives in my house like works. They need their vehicles, so it's not like I could just like be like, "Oh, well, I'm going to go take my boyfriend's truck because he's home." He's like never home. He's not home right now. He's out working. It's a Sunday afternoon and he's running around doing errands for his business to make sure that tomorrow when he has to go to an actual job, he's set up for success. Now, obviously, like with everything being said, I'm pretty sure that the insurance companies are gonna say that I'm not liable for the accident because she was driving in the shoulder lane, which is illegal, like passing traffic, and the guy who had stopped for me like waved me on to let me turn into the gas station, so it was her fault. Which means that hopefully I will get a payout for the like what do you call it? However much my car is worth, and from what I have researched with my mom, it's like it'll be a decent little down payment if I decide to get a newer car. But that's also something that's weighing on me pretty heavily right now because I do have to decide whether or not I'm going to get a brand new car, which is expensive, get a pre-owned car from a dealership, which is still expensive, or if I'm going to end up like looking on Facebook Marketplace for something um that I can just buy outright and like own and don't have to worry about financing or loans or trying to pay somebody for um like pay a company for monthly installments. There's a lot that goes into that. My thinking is that I kind of want to lean towards a dealership, a pre-owned car from a dealership, just because I want to avoid the hassle of like hidden issues with a vehicle. Um, my biggest fear is like buying a car off of Facebook Marketplace and it needs a lot of work and it was sold as like it being in pretty good shape. Um, and me not like finding out that until it's too late and I'm already putting money into it. So that's my biggest concern with that. And then my concern with getting a car that from a dealership is that um it's just like my expenses are tight already. I'm paying rent monthly, I'm paying for car insurance monthly. It was great when I didn't have to pay a monthly car installment for like financing the car. Excuse me. On top of that, I have my own credit card bill. I have health bills I have to pay. I have streaming services that I enjoy. It's just like there's a lot that goes into it, and also again feeding myself, I do have to do that. So there's a lot of things that goes into it, and I'm already pretty tight where I am. It's like I'm out of my comfort zone as it is with how much money I have left over to pay for like food and stuff. So I am just a little worried about what it would look like if I did end up getting uh financing a car from a dealership. Excuse me again, guys. I hate the way my voice sounds when it gets raspy like this. Excuse me, that was a burp. Yeah, and the thing about buying a brand new car is they're just so expensive. Like, I could not imagine getting or financing a 2026 car because I was just looking at them to see, like, maybe how much it would cost me to get a brand new car. $800 a month for a brand new car. Yeah, I was just giving you the time to let that sink in. 800, oops, that's dog hair. $800 a month for a brand new car. I don't know. It's just outrageous to me. Like, I just need a car. I literally just need a car. I need a vehicle that's reliable to get me from point A to point B, that doesn't have a like never ending list of deathly issues. And I need something that's not gonna cost me an arm and a leg. And it's like impossible to have both. You either get to have one or the other. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, honestly. It's quite frustrating, and I have been looking like a lot at different vehicles, and I've been looking on Facebook Marketplace, and I've been looking at on Carvana, and been looking on different dealerships. Um, so I have done quite a bit of like research, I guess, is what I could call that. But I haven't like seriously looked. I've only found one vehicle so far that I am like in love with, that I could see myself putting a down payment on, and like I just could see myself having, but I'm not ready to like set my sights on anything at the moment because I haven't, it's still so new. Like, it's only Sunday. This happened 2 days ago. So honestly, I don't know what's gonna happen like even next week. You know what I mean? I have to go and pick up the police report from the police station tomorrow and fill out paperwork for my insurance company so that way they can, I guess, send out someone to look at my car and like determine whether or not it's actually totaled. Although I'm sure they will. And then obviously they'll decide based on the police report and like my depiction of what happened and the woman's depiction of what happened, who's liable or whatever. And I'll find out how much I'm getting back for my car, or if I'm even getting anything back for my car. And that's another thing. Like, this is all riding on the fact that I get something back for my car. Like, if they determine that I'm liable, which I don't know how they could, everybody I've talked to about the accident has literally said, like, she's gonna get in a lot of trouble because where I live, there's a sign maybe 50 yards up the road that says do not drive in the shoulder. And the turn lane in the area where we were, so like the side of the road that she was driving on is one lane up until the light, probably I'd say 20 to 30 yards down the road. And then it splits off into a 2-lane road where you can either go right or you can go left. But it doesn't start for a while before where she hit me. So, yeah, everyone's been saying that she's probably gonna get in a lot of trouble and I will get money for my car. But if I don't, it means that I'm gonna be carless for a while. And that'll be nice because I won't have to pay car insurance. I won't have to worry about, like paying $400 a month for that. But I also won't have a car. So I guess it just like, I don't know, it kind of messes everything up if I don't get the if I don't get a new car. I'm stressed, guys. But then again, like This video is not just about the fact that I got into a car accident. I wanted to talk a lot about how I personally have been feeling lately with just my job and wanting to pursue something else. I don't think I said this in any videos because that last video didn't get posted, but when I got that really strong feeling of I guess just sadness and kind of despair and just feeling out of place, like I'm not moving, my life's just kind of stagnant right now. I ended up doing a personality quiz because that's what I guess Google suggested for me to do, to help me figure out what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I just figured out that the best careers for me are things with art. So or not just necessarily arts, but things really, and it's funny that the forum said this because it's something that I've actually been genuinely thinking about a lot. But early education, so working with really small kids, I would want to work with 1 to 4 year olds, maybe preschool age. I could see myself working with. I would just want to teach really small kids ABCs, 1, 2, 3, stuff like that, and maybe help start teaching them how to read. Or run my own daycare. I could see myself doing. But the biggest thing that stood out to me that's I keep coming back to is writing. The forum said that I would be a really good writer, and there was something else. They suggested journalism, but it seems nice. It would mean going back to school. Obviously not the worst thing in the world. If it happens, it happens. But I'm pursuing the writing. I literally that day sat down and started brainstorming new story ideas, and ever since then I have been writing this story in a notebook. Hold on, I've got it right here. So this is the notebook. It's got a little thingy in here, and you can see how deep into the notebook I am with writing. That whole notebook is not just this one story. So these first few pages are from a different story. It is character development stuff. Just kind of helping me depict things I need to remember from the story that I was writing before. I don't intend on scrapping this story because I think I'll be able to get back to it once I put out the book that I'm writing now. But from here to here in this notebook, as you can see I'm writing on this page, is all me telling myself the story that I want to write. So that way when I actually go in to write it, I know details and how things are supposed to go, and I don't have to go back and kind of figure out the minute details and make things up and then be confused when things don't match up later on. Which has been a lot of fun. I honestly am enjoying it a lot because I haven't yet lost my momentum. I was actually pretty worried when I first started writing it because I got maybe 6 pages into it before I had to call it a night the first time that I got into writing the plot line. I was worried that the next day when I came home I wasn't going to be able to continue writing it. I thought I was going to have lost the momentum and it was just going to be gone, which is always something that sets me back when I'm writing. If I lose the momentum for a story and things kind of turn, the tone for the story shifts, and I always end up going back and rereading like the first part into the second part, where I had to stop to see like if they're cohesive or not. And when they're not, which is happens like 8 times out of 10, I always get super frustrated and just like feel like it's a waste of time, and like I don't know why I'm doing it anymore. Which the answer is I'm doing it because I love it. I love to write, I love stories, I love reading. And I do want to be an author. I want to put my own books out. I want to be like well renowned for writing. I want to be a best-selling author one day for not just one book, but like a lot of books. I hope that I can like really make the charts with my writing, because I do just enjoy writing that much, but I do have such a hard time with like storytelling and I guess knowing how to write. I feel like I just don't know how to plot the book or tell the story to myself is really the issue. I think when I was younger, I was somebody who just like wrote, and I didn't really have a plan for the story. I just kind of knew how the beginning was going to start and the middle would eventually come to me, but I had no way of making the ending cohesive or like feel seamless to the rest of the story, which always just set me back. It like made the storytelling really weird and was obviously super frustrating because I got through and the first part and like the middle of the story, and then I'm trying to end it, or I get through the first part, I get through the beginning, and then I get to the middle and I don't know what to do or how to make it like make sense for the ending. Excuse me, I'm sorry guys. My voice is doing that thing again. But yeah, so excuse me, I burped again. I've just been using that notebook to really tell myself the story and iron out details so that way I can go back in and reference them from there and not have to worry about that later on. Um, and then I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna write it. And I'm not gonna worry about like anything when it comes to it that I normally would, like how the audience is gonna read it or if it's good enough, or worry about how my friends or family is gonna feel about it, because at the end of the day, like this is something I really, really, really want to do. It's something that I have been dreaming out about for a long time. So I think it's just unfair to myself to put pressure on myself about what other people are gonna think and kind of stifle myself rather than allowing myself to chase that like dream and fall in love with it the way that I honestly could if I just gave myself the chance. I think this mascara is drying out because honestly I stuck it in the back in the tube so many times and it's just not coming out the way that I want it to. Um which is why I've been sitting here like messing with it for as long as I have, because I have a really distinct idea of what my eyelashes should look like when I do my mascara, and if they don't come out that way, it's very frustrating. I will sit here forever and try and fix them. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch over to my other mascara because um it's pretty much brand new. I've like never used it before. I don't know which one of these tubes it is. This one feels heavier. I'm gonna go with this one. They're the same one. One's just new and one's old, so I don't know. I'm gonna open this one. I still can't tell. I think this one's newer. But just for a second, I'm gonna use this one and see what happens. I used to absolutely love this mascara, but the wand is so freaking like hard. It hurts. My eyes, hurts my eyelashes, it hurts everything. I can see the mascara like getting on my actual eyelid, but I don't see it coming off on the eyelash, and maybe that's just because I don't know. Can't see it, but I think it's because it's not working. This seems to be better. Yeah, see, it even feels better. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm still like struggling pretty heavily with just life in general. How I am feeling about my 9 to 5 job. Honestly, I just hate going to work every freaking day. I really just don't want to show up at all, and any chance that I get to leave early, I like take, because despite the fact that I need to take care of myself, um the place just makes me miserable. Like hate I honestly really just hate being there. And it has nothing to do with my coworkers. Most of my coworkers, I repeat, most of my coworkers are great and I really enjoy them. Some of them like peeve me, but it's nothing. Like I've dealt with so much worse. This is honestly the one place where I've worked, and like all of my coworkers are decent people or really good people or just like tolerable. I can handle being around them and don't like want to leave because of them. Um, but the customers, I just like do not enjoy working in customer service. I don't enjoy having to pretend to be nice to people when they're rude or entitled or arrogant. And I don't like doing work that makes me feel like it's not fulfilling my purpose or like a meaningful purpose to me. Because obviously, maybe to someone else, the work that I'm doing would be enough to give them a sense of purpose, but it's just not for me. Like, it does not feel like I'm doing really anything meaningful at all when I walk in the building. I just find myself feeling like bored a lot and trying to find anything to do to make the time go by faster. So that's honestly like how things are with my 9 to 5 job. Honestly, nothing's really changed. It still sucks. Um, and I wish there were better options for people who haven't gone to college. Sure, you could enter a trade, but like honestly, it would just be for the money. It's not gonna give me the sense of purpose that I'm looking for. And that's not the worst idea. Like, if you don't have something that you feel super strongly about, um, I would just say go, like, join a trade, because the schooling is a lot less, um, time consuming. And I don't mean time consuming as in, like, oh, you're not gonna be there for 8 hours. I mean time consuming as in it's not gonna take you 4 years to get through it. A trade that I was actually looking into for a small, very small amount of time was like the electrical line guys who climb up the wooden poles that have all the black wires attached to them. So that way, if something like was broken or anything like that, they go up there and fix them. I was looking into that for a while just because they make pretty decent money. And their schooling is only like 3 months total. I don't know how much it would cost to do that schooling, but honestly, I cannot imagine that it's like a lot, just because trades typically aren't the way that schools are, where you're getting charged an arm and a leg for an education that almost isn't really worth it. Maybe it is to some people who have money, but for most normal people, it's just not. I mean, I just met I had so many teachers in high school who, when I was thinking about going to school for biology to get a um, marine biology degree or my freaking vet veterinarian degree, I was also considering just doing some field research for a while before coming back to be a bio teacher. And all of them said, don't do it. Do not come back and be a high school or middle school or elementary school level teacher because the money's not worth it. There's just so much issues within the system. It's just be a professor if you're going to do that. And I mean, yeah, it's just so many people regret their teaching degree or end up doing something else. Not that they regret it, but just they get into it and they feel drained really quickly because of all the things that are happening behind the scenes. This is my blush. I don't think I told you which mascaras I used. I used the Revlon So Fierce Big Bad Lash over my Maybelline Colossal Bubble. When this came out on TikTok, I was obsessed. I wanted it so bad, but I knew that we were gonna get it at work, and that was my job was one of the only places in the stores that they were selling them. So it was you could get it either on TikTok or you could wait. I think it was a month after it came out on TikTok, it came out in my store. And so I just waited a month to get it in my store, and it was also a lot less getting it in my store than it was on TikTok with the shipping. So I got it pretty much right away. I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this finally came out. I'm so happy. I feel like my skin, that plumper already started working because my skin looks good again. I look like I did not just die. Wake up from freaking death. The thing about writing is it's not, sorry, I cannot see myself. It doesn't give me the money that I want right away, and it's not something where I can see the product of my work immediately, which is two problems for me because honestly it's really hard to not have some sort of feedback after doing work, even a little bit of work. If I were just to maybe do a couple pages, if I can't see some sort of outcome from that, it honestly just stresses me out a bit. It makes me feel like it's almost not worth it, but that's not the truth. Just because when I get to the end of the book, I know I will feel happy with having finished something so important. And I think once I get to a point where I surpass how much I've written on all my other books or my attempts at books, I will feel like I've accomplished something. But I think the overlying sense or feeling that I got to a certain point in my past books and then couldn't get past that is really weighing on me. Um, there's just a couple things that I have to work through. I got mascara in my eye. I can feel it. Maybe not. Yeah. So I am pursuing the writing. I'm going to finish plotting out the story and then set a hard deadline for myself of when this book needs to be finished and how soon I need to have chapters done. This is the L'Oreal Plump Ambition lip oil in the shade 20 Rose. And that's literally all I do when I do my makeup. I don't know why it took me so long. 45 freaking minutes. But yeah. So I'm gonna set myself a hard deadline when doing my writing. So that way it's a bit easier for me to stay on track and keep track of like everything that I'm doing, and to just like really hold myself to a standard, so that way I am not getting lost in whatever in life. I'm like prioritizing my writing as well, because as I've mentioned one too many times before, this is something that's actually really important to me, and I want to achieve this. I want to put a book out there. I want to become a well-renowned writer. I want to, make money doing something that I really enjoy. I want to stop working my 9 to 5 dead end job. I want to own a house. I want to be able to buy a brand new car and not worry about financing it. I want to um, have a brand new puppy. I want to. Did I say buy a house? Because the buying a house is a really big deal for me. I want to buy a house. I want to have chickens, and I want to have a whole zoo. And I just want to be happy and comfortable, and I want to have a better life for myself than my parents did, and my grandparents did, and I want to give my children a better life than I had. Um, so yeah, that is my life update. That's everything that I have for you at the moment. Um, I'm really sorry that it took me this long. And honestly, I don't think I'm gonna wait until Friday to post this. I think I'm going to just post it today because, well, I can. It's my channel. Do what I want. um, to anyone out there who is still watching, I hope you have a great rest of your week. Follow your dreams. Don't be afraid of anything. Life is going to keep coming at you. It never gives you a break, and so live in every single moment. Recognize when things are good and be happy and grateful that things are good, and recognize when things are bad and try to make the best out of them, because you genuinely only have one life, and you don't know when it's going to end. You don't know what tomorrow's going to look like, so you have to try your best to make as much effort as you can, put as much effort into everything that you're doing when you're doing it, because you don't want to have any sort of regrets. Don't do things that, you aren't going to be proud of yourself for doing later on. Just make the best of this life. Try to be the best person that you can, and leave behind something that you are seriously going to be proud of. Leave something behind that your kids will be proud of you for leaving behind. Leave behind something like your great grandkids are going to be like, wow, this is something that my family member did. you know I think that's such an important thing to think about, and to just carry with yourself. Having a legacy to leave behind that makes people proud of who you were and who you are is so important, because honestly, it's not so much about what they think of you, but about how it makes you feel about yourself. I know these books, writing my books, once I get one published, it's going to be the proudest moment of my life, aside from probably getting married and having kids. So yeah, just do everything you can to make this life the best one that you absolutely could ever have. Um, Try every single day to be a better person than you were the day before. Think about who you are as a person, where you want to be, how you've treated people, and try your best to change the things that you don't love about yourself, um, into something better. it's hard to recognize when you aren't exactly making the greatest choices, and it's hard to hold yourself accountable all the time, but you will be better for it as a person. And if you're someone like me who believes strongly in karma, the better you are as a person, the better your life will be. So, yeah, that's everything that I have for you. I hope you have a great day. I'm wishing everyone the absolute best. And I'm going to make the best of this situation that I have, and I'm going to continue to work towards my dreams and everything that I want for myself and my future. Also, these are my nails. Aren't they cute? Alright, I will see you guys maybe next Friday, hopefully next Friday, with another figuring out my 20s video. And that's all I have for you. Bye!